Okay kids, welcome back. We are going to play with different color options today in Photoshop. I'm going to open Adobe Photoshop any minute now. Let's see, this one looks like a good one to open. There we go. Let me grab my white pencil and erase this. Color play. I don't know if I like that, but that's what we're going to call this one. Save as to the cloud. We'll call this one assignment 8. Sure. Save. Okay, now that this is its own document, let me throw these layers that I don't need away. We shall merge visible, copy background, call this one line art. You can misspell it all you want, doesn't matter. Switch this layer to multiply so it is a see-through transparency. And now here we go. I want you to find a landscape. For me, the most famous landscape is Van Gogh's Starry Night. We have played with this 9 weeks. How big is this one? Oh, that's nice and big. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Image copy, edit, paste. Let's see here. Does this fit? Change the opacity. I want to see through this bad boy. 72% seems good. Edit, transform, scale. You know what? Maybe I'm going to squish it a little. I'll press Shift. Let us grab my marquee tool, chop this side off, delete. We're going to do this a lot like our filters assignment with Mona Lisa. I'm going to copy this once, drag it down here. I will copy this again, drag it down here. I can merge all these pictures together. Line art on top. There we go. Now we are ready to play. Let's call this one landscapes, just so I don't get confused. One thing we can do in Photoshop is manipulate how bright or dark something is. We can manipulate the colors. That's what I want us to do today with color play. So what I'm going to do now is make sure I'm in this layer, the landscapes layer. I'm going to grab my marquee tool and I am going to select about half of this. And if you go up here to image adjust, you've got a whole lot of choices to play with up here. Let's start with brightness contrast. If you look over here at brightness contrast, if I increase the brightness, it gets really bright. If I decrease it, it gets dark. There's the default back at 0. Contrast is the brightness and darkness of the colors. There's contrast bumped up to 100. There's contrast decreased to -50. If it's decreased, all the values look similar. If you bump it up, they look like that. The bright colors are brighter, the darker colors are darker. Let's see, if I manipulate this in any way, it looks like I played with the brightness contrast. That's good. Click on OK. That's what I want to see. If I go up to this corner and select this, what other things can we play with? Image adjust. We don't really want to play with levels, curves, or exposure. Let's go to hue and saturation. Let's go to hue and change the hue. If you use this slider, you can see that I'm turning everything purple or more violet. If I slide it this way, things get yellowier. It just tends to look weirder. We can do that with this slider right here. As long as you change the hue, it lets me know that you've done the right thing. Let's go over here, hue and saturation. I'm going to adjust this one. I'm going to select half of this. I'm going to go to Image, Adjust, Hue and Saturation. Saturation is how bright or how saturated the colors are. If I drag this one in the middle to saturate, whoa, I take it all the way to 100. The blues are really blue. The yellows and whites almost get blown out. Those colors are super saturated. On the flip side, if I grab this side and go to Image, Adjust, Hue and Saturation, and I desaturate it, I drag it all the way over here, it turns almost into a gray picture, a black and white picture. So I have just desaturated it. The last thing I want to do is play with warm and cool colors. Let me go to this last one. I'm going to highlight half of it, like so. Image, Adjust, we can go down to Color Balance. Color balance is neat. If I wanted to make this picture bluer, I could increase the cyan levels. I can go to the blues, and that's just the midtones. I can actually click on shadows and make it bluer. Wow. Highlights. How blue can we get? Really blue. Kids, this is actually taking it way too far, but for the sake of this assignment, that's good. Let's make this warm colors. Any reds, oranges, yellows. So I've highlighted it. Image, Adjust, Color Balance. I can make Starry Night look like daytime a little. Play with magenta or green. Play with your shadows, your highlights, your midtones. All these different things that will come into play in future assignments. If you have, Control S, if you have saved this, go ahead, make it a JPEG, submit it to me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.